Hello. A few weeks ago, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, announced that he intended to buy the social media platform Twitter for over £34 billion. In the weeks that followed, there have been discussions over how crazy it is that one man has that much money, with the BBC asking random strangers in the street what they would do if they had that much. Without fail, everyone the BBC asked said they would give some of it to charity, alongside buying a nice house and other bits. To be fair to Elon, he has recently donated around £5 billion to charity, but the 34 and the 5 are not going to mean he struggles to pay for Netflix each month. Incidentally, with £34 billion, you could subscribe to Netflix for 366 million years. We're going to have a quick look at the widow's offering, which appears in both Luke and Mark. This is Luke's account. As Jesus looked up, he saw the rich putting their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw a poor widow put in 2 very small copper coins. "Truly I tell you," he said, "this poor widow has put in more than all the others. All these people gave their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on." This is a short passage in both books, which possibly leaves more questions than answers. Here we see a widow, a woman who relies on handouts to live, giving her money to the temple. Jesus said she's given all she has to live on. So what's this woman's story? Why has she done this? What happens after this? How does she survive? Does she survive? I would love to imagine she's a strong and faith-filled woman who knew how to fully rely on God for all her needs. That somehow in her giving she got back all she had given 1,000 times over as soon as she returned home. That as she slipped those 2 tiny coins into the box, she did it with a smile on her face and songs of praise in her heart. But there's no mention of that. Maybe it's true, or maybe it's a real struggle. That she knew by giving those coins she would have very little or nothing to eat. That as she dropped them in, she was crying, unsure that the God who she still blames for becoming a widow is even interested in her or even exists. Not knowing that God in the form of Jesus was sat opposite watching. But still, in her doubts, in her worries, she continues to offer everything she has to God. We just don't know anything more than she was a widow. But she would know that the offering she's giving won't make any impact to the temple's finances. Clearly it's not worth much financially. But as an act of worship, as a sign of faith and trust, she has given so much. I suspect that if you're watching this, you are neither in the position of someone who has billions of pounds that they don't know what to do with, nor at the point where you have nothing. Though I could imagine, given the constant increase in the cost of living, the second of these 2 positions may be coming closer than you would like. To this woman it didn't matter whether she was wealthy or not. She gave to God. Perhaps we make weekly budgets. We've recently upped the budget for fuel, for food, but maybe not increased or maybe even decreased what we give to God. Financially, times are tough. And what is missing here in the passage is important. Jesus doesn't go on to say, "Go and do likewise." He isn't saying that we should all be giving all of our money to God. But he is saying what we give of our finances, what we give of our time and energy in our dealings with others is a reflection on how important we see our relationship with God. What we do with what we have is important. In giving all that she had, she was relying on God. Are there areas of our lives beyond our finances where we can rely more on God? As we go about our daily lives, how can we involve God more? How can we grow as disciples, trusting in him more? Are we happy with a rushed 5 or 10 minute Bible thought in the morning to tick a box? Or in every aspect of our waking hours, is there a way that we can honour him? Colossians 3 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." Whatever you do, whether you're at work today, retired, or somewhere in between, what you do today can be a gift to God. Think about how you can give today to Him. Colossians tells us that as we work hard for the Lord, we will receive an inheritance. Maybe as we give, we won't see a benefit in this life, as probably the widow didn't, but rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. Maybe today you will have the briefest conversations with someone about God. Maybe you'll send someone a message of encouragement. To you, like the widow, it may feel like you are contributing very little, but Jesus knows how you are living out your Christian life, how you find talking to people about Him really difficult but have done it anyway, how you really didn't have the time to message someone but did it anyway, putting God first and blessing others through your actions.